Joined now by Titans radio analyst, former NFL head coach, and Titans assistant Dave McGinnis. Coach Mack, it is game week finally for the 2018 season. How much easier does it make it to wake up tomorrow morning for these guys? And yes, you're still in training camp, but no, you got a game against the Packers on Thursday night.
Steve, look, everything is done in segments when you're installing offense, defense, and special teams, and it's especially compartmentalized for a new staff when they come in. They are still implementing, but now you get to see what your players are like putting in. Now, it's going to be it's not a game plan, but being able to see what they do against somebody in a different colored jersey.
So we're 10 days into training camp and the Mike Vrabel era. What has stood out to you about how he's approached this as a first-time head coach?
Very organized. He knows exactly what he's doing. What I like to watch, of course, being a 30-plus year coach in this league, when I go to practices, I like to watch from the walkthrough till the end of practice and see how all the installation platforms fit together. I really like what I see, but you can tell he's got a very good handle on the organization of what he wants to get accomplished daily.
You were the head coach of the Cardinals from 2000 to 2003. How difficult, Coach, is it to go from a coordinator to an NFL head coach for the first time, as Mike Vrabel is doing?
John, when you get the job and the interviews are over and they shut that door and you're in there by yourself, you're going, now what? Okay? Because you've prepared yourself for it, just like Mike has done. But at the same time, you've got to learn how to allot your time. Because when you're a position coach in the league, it's like driving with your dim lights on. You're just looking right straight ahead. You become a coordinator, your bright lights come on. When you get that head coaching job, you've got to look at everything with the spotlight. Football is not the issue. It's everything else that comes with being a head coach.
Well, a lot of the players and several of the assistant coaches love Vrabel's hands-on approach. I know Wesley Woodyard at one point said, I think he wants to tape ankles before practice. How much do you like that hands-on approach for a young guy like Vrabel, who, again, has never coached in this league yet?
Well, it just shows his passion for it, his passion for the game. But at the same time, it's very genuine. He's not going to ask anybody to do anything that he hasn't done or that he's not willing to do. Then that's when you're willing to get behind it and say, okay, let's all roll together.
Vrabel's not the only new guy, of course. The entire staff just about is new this season. We'll start on the defensive side of the ball because that's your specialty. Defensive coordinator Dean Pease runs a 3-4 scheme, which is similar to what the Titans had run in the past. But when we get on the field Thursday night, what will we see that you think might be a little bit different from the past?
Well, first of all, they're not going to show a whole lot. The first preseason game, it's not to game plan your opponent, it's to evaluate your players. You're going to see a very multiple front, different blitzes coming from different areas. His defenses, though, guys, have always been very, very aggressive. Dean Pease has never been a guy to lay back very much, and he's also very creative once he starts to learn his people as to how he puts them in spots to be really successful.
Should be fun to see. The biggest change, of course, people want to see is on the offensive side of the ball, where Matt LaFleur becomes a first-time play caller. And I've noticed a difference, Coach, in some of the things we've seen just in formations in practice. This is some of the old Titans offense where you see what they call the plus splits out wide, very traditional. But Sean McVay and what the Rams do and what Matt LaFleur learned from, very different. Show us how.
Well, what you've got going here, you see the reduced splits. The reduced splits do a lot of things. They put your defense in some trouble trying to figure out how they're going to press the thing. The other thing they do with this offense, and I know we're going to see several clips, you see they're going to run different plays out of the same formation. We just saw a condensed formation with a shot. Then you see Todd Gurley. This is a check. This is a check to a back. This is where Todd Gurley got paid all his money last year. Yep. You've got to have a back that can move out from the backfield and can be a legitimate pass threat. But the beauty of this offense, the play caller can set up a lot of his things with offensive structure that looks the same, but you get entirely different ways to attack a defense off of it. I've defensed this offense for a lot of years, going back to Mike Shanahan when he started it in Denver. And I think that all of these coaches, and going now to Matt LaFleur, they've added on to it. It's a very, very multiple offense, but at the same time, it's very, very quarterback and receiver friendly. You're going to see a lot of fun things out of this offense.
Well, let's talk about the quarterback, because all these changes, of course, are supposed to help out Marcus Mariota. How do you think he's adapted so far?
No, I really like what I've seen. I can see, first of all, Marcus is so conscientious. He's a tremendous competitor. People asked me early on, when Matt LaFleur was hired, how this would fit Marcus Mariota. Couldn't be more perfect. This is a perfect marriage between a quarterback, his requisite skills and the offensive system.
From a running game standpoint, of course, DeMarco Murray retired, so it's Derrick Henry and Dion Lewis running the show in the Titans' backfield. Do you expect a 50-50 split in terms of carries and touches for those two? How do you see that
I don't
working?
know. I'm not in those meeting rooms. I do know this. They will both play. They'll both play a lot. All of this offense generates off of the outside zone play. Both are very capable at that. But you also need backs that can detach on what we call conflict downs, where a defense has to play running pass 50-50. Both can do that. And once you've got that going for you, you've got a really, really good 1-2 punch.
Injuries have obviously been a concern throughout camp, especially back on that defensive side of the ball where you lose two guys in the secondary this week, including Jonathan Cyprien, a reliable starter at safety. How big is the loss of Sip especially, and can the addition of Kenny Vaccaro, who they just signed, make up for the loss?
Well, I mean, Jonathan Cyprien, I mean, that made me sick to my stomach, because Cyprien was a really, really big part of this football team. You know, he's a consummate professional. Once he got hurt, they went out and they tried out some people. Kenny Vaccaro was the #1 safety in the 2013 draft. He's got numbers and he's got production in this league. It's going to be interesting to watch him integrate into this system.
Dave McGinnis, great stuff, and I think I speak for everybody when I say I cannot wait to hear you and Mike Keith calling the games once again starting Thursday night.
I love doing this so much. I love the fans here. I love Nashville. I love doing this. And Mike Keith has to carry me every broadcast, so I just show up. He tells me what to do.
You're doing great. We appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Great,
Thank you.
Great seeing you.